Well, today on Nation Window Cleaners Podcast, we are revisiting phone bids and how to do them because it's busy. Hopefully it's busy for you, or you're at least almost busy. And I want you to get proficient phone bids. I'm going to speed you up, make you faster, get more jobs booked, and save a ton of time. So if you're a window cleaner, or heck, you want to get into window cleaning, stay tuned to WCR Nation. What's up, everybody? Jersey here from windowcleaner.com, and you are here. What is up? Hopefully, you're having a great year. Hopefully, things are really cracking off. If not, it's a little early. It's April right now, so maybe you're not quite there. But either way, hopefully you're having a good season, or hopefully you will have a good season, which I know you will. You're listening to a podcast right now about window cleaning. You're going to be better this year than you were last year. If it's not your first time here, thanks for coming back. If it is, go back, watch. Go to Spotify. Leave me a link, not a comment, a review. There you go. On Spotify, because it genuinely helps. And by the way, I just want to say, I'll get to my shameless plug later. Tell you I'm a rep for windowcleaner.com and I want to put orders in. But I also want to say thank you to everybody who posts or tags me in Facebook, who just talks about the things that I talk about. It's just really, really awesome to kind of be able to do that. And anytime I see that, I could share the Spotify link. And if you want to share the Spotify link, definitely do that. But anyway, thank you to all of you guys. But anyway, phone bids for me are one of the biggest kind of game-changing things that I've ever done for my business. And just real quick, if you're not doing phone bids and you're going in person, you say, oh yeah, well, my customers need me. I can get more closed by going. No, listen. Just give me 30 minutes of time today to listen, and I will change your mind, or at least give you something to try. And I'm telling you, once you try it, this is absolutely game-changing for window cleaning, just our industry, but more or less your time management. I mean, we're so busy right now. There's so many things we have to do, from marketing to advertising to SEO to hiring to make sure the stuff is good, to scheduling. Even if you have admins, you have staff, you have all of that stuff, you still cannot spend all day driving around talking to Sally Smith. And in fact, I will tell you that doing in-person bids gives you a lower close rate than doing them over the phone. And you're like, okay, that's just stuff. Let me prove that to you. If somebody calls you and they say, hey, I'm looking to get a bid, and you're like, okay, great, we can be out there within 2 weeks. We could be out there next week. We could be out there in a couple days. They go, oh, okay, great. Do you think they just close, hang up the phone and like, all right, well, cool, we got it set? Or do you think they call other people, other companies? So now you're competing harder against people. You're also, how many times has somebody said, you know what, no, actually, we found somebody, and you've lost that. When I do phone bids, I'm giving them, they're calling, they're like, it's so in my head right now, I need to call. I pick up the phone to talk to a person. I jump on Messenger to message somebody. I do whatever it is. It's in my head now, right now, is the hottest time to strike. They're cooled off in 2 weeks. They talk to other people in 2 weeks. Things come up in 2 weeks. If within 2 minutes, I could not only give them a price, give them their scheduled date, and book them, they're not calling anybody else. I've stopped it right then and there. And it's genuinely taken me 2 minutes to do a bid. 2 minutes to do a bid, giving people what they need, ending their search for it. Nobody wants to give me some numbers and I'm going to call a bunch of other people. They're not wanting to do this. They just want it done. They're like, hey, you know what? My windows are filthy. I got to get them done. The answer is that. And it's only taking you 2 minutes. Even if they're talkers, you're still under 5. It's insane the amount of time that you can save. Now, going back to admin, and we've talked numbers and other things, an admin can also do this. It is that simple. I know that's hard for you to trust somebody and they take some time. Yeah, everybody needs time to learn. But even an admin can do this. Then what happens this is when I'm talking about like 30 bids in a day, 50 bids in a day, and you're like, what? It's not a thing. It absolutely is. It absolutely is. How do you think companies doing millions a year are doing that? They have multiple people giving bids. It's very, very easy to do. But you want to do it a little bit right. You want to focus on the idea, the end result, and you kind of have to do it a certain way. That's what we're going to talk about today. And let me start by saying your biggest point to this is to close the sale. If you don't like sales, or you think that sales is pushy because you're getting the close, they picked up a phone. They want their windows cleaned so bad, they picked up the phone and called you. This is the most uncomfortable thing most people can do. And they did that. So, it's not pushy for you to book them. You're the best company in the area, right? If not, work on yourself, man. Okay, that's the end result. That's what we're going for. But how do I get enough information where I can make a good, educated bid for them? And how do I get the close? I'll start by getting the contact information. I'll tell you, there's so much information that I'm willing to tell you if you just ask. And there are so many companies out there. You may be one of them. I'm not picking on you. But there's so many companies out there who don't know their numbers enough. They're like, oh, I don't know. How do I get more people? How do I do? All that stuff is you just don't know enough about what's happening. If you ask somebody, hey, how many jobs do you get from Facebook? And they're like, oh, I don't know. Like, we get like 5 jobs a month from Facebook. Whatever their number is, they're guessing. Most people don't know that. And this phone bids is the way you can understand a lot more. And I'll tell you, this is what I do. I have it all written down. Maybe you put it right into your CRM. That's cool. If not, using Jobber, use Jobber. There's a link. I'm kind of working with them, but man, it's absolutely mind-blowing what Jobber does. Anyway, make it simple. What you can do is you ask their name, of course, their address, their email, and then you ask them, how'd you hear of us? I always like, okay, what's your name? Okay, great. Let me just get a little bit of information for you. I'll get you a quick price on that. What's your address? All right. What's your name? First and last name. Phone number, so if we get disconnected or I need to shoot you anything. And email. Great. And then finally, how'd you hear of us? This is where they tell you the thing that's stuck in their head. Now, a lot of times when you're doing advertising, there's Facebook and website and Googling and their trucks are driving around. But the last thing that they say, I just Googled you and saw you pop up on the little map thingy. Sweet. Guess what? I put it in the notes. Google Maps. I put in my Jobber. Google Maps. Local listing. Google. Whatever you do, the more specific you can get, the more you can get. Now, here's the thing. The person who told you they saw you on Google Maps probably also saw your trucks driving around. They probably also talked to their friend Cindy who, recommended you guys. They did some research on your website after finding your website from Google. But the idea that sticks in their head is the idea you're going to get. You're not going to get the full picture. You're going to get a better picture than what you do. Now ask. Because through, say, a Facebook, you can tell how many people come to you in Facebook because they can go through Messenger on Facebook. You can see what they're doing. You can communicate. You can talk, blah, blah, blah. But you're doing a lot of things. You're probably doing SEO. You're probably doing some push on local listings. Monk SEO can actually go in and help you push your local listing, which is insane. I didn't even know that could happen. But if you do all of those things, you don't really know how they're seeing you, and it may be a plethora, but the last thing they tell you was the thing that's stuck in their head, and it gives you a better idea. It's a simple question, and everybody will tell you. Oh, actually, my neighbor Tim uses you guys. Cool, referral. They probably still checked your website out, but I'm going back to the referral. Now, referrals are always be good. You can't really increase referrals except just asking, which is shockingly easy. But I want to know some information. I want to know how they found me because I could track everything. I am going to do the most. I'm going to get the most information from people that I possibly can. Because the more information you have, the more decisions and things you can decide based off of what you know, what your information is, right? So anyway, what's your name? What's your address? What's your phone number in case we get disconnected? And then what's your email? And finally, how'd you hear of us? Boom. Okay, writing all that down now. Okay, great. So let me ask you just a few questions about the house real quick. First off, what's your square footage, just so I can get a ballpark? Well, 2,500 square feet. Okay. People always ask me this one. They go, well, why do you ask square footage if you don't bid by square footage? Don't at all. Because in my head, I need to understand what the property is. Now, there is not a place anywhere that is 2,500 square feet that is somehow completely different than anything else. That's fair? Most of 2,500's cookie cutter, you know, it's going to be a 2-story, 3-bedroom, 1.5 bath. I can get an idea. I understand the size. I have never in my history, there's something out there, imagine. So if you guys want to send me this crazy anomaly, you sure can, but it's not the norm. But I know how many windows about there are. In a 2,500 square foot home, guess what? You're under 20 windows. We bid by panes, I know, but windows are how we talk to the customer. And I'll explain that in a second. But I'm going to know the size. And the longer you're doing this, you could tell me your neighborhood or where your house is and the size of your house, and I could give you a bid basically without asking any other questions. Because I know that size, I know that property. And here, let me put this out there too. I think a lot of people that are stuck on this are stuck on the fact that, oh man, what if they, you know, I get 20 windows, but they have 21 windows. Well, listen, I am not worried about being a little off. I'm not worried about being absolutely specific down to the... A normal bid that you go and drive to is, say it's 20 minutes to get to the customer's house. You're going to talk to the customer for 20 minutes, walk around the house, do your thing. You're going to drive back for 20 minutes. It's an hour. Every bid you do is an hour. In that idea, I know obviously you could try to stack them up if you wait long enough, put them together. But you could do 8 hours and only get 8 bids. You could get 8 bids in one day and you've done nothing else to advance your company. Those same 8 bids, for me, will take 16 minutes, under an hour. It'll take 30 minutes if I talk a lot. So I just saved 7.5 hours. I know what I make an hour, and if I'm a little off, I do not care because I've saved so much, right? So I want to be as specific as possible so I can get as close as I can, but if you're that worried, your prices aren't high enough, okay? Just telling you that. I'm just some dummy on the computer who doesn't know anything, so maybe I'm wrong, and I could very well be, but that's what I'm sticking to. But anyway, okay, so I ask all those things, ask square footage to start, get an idea in my head, right? And then I say one of the more important questions, and I go, okay, great, so on a nice day, and you want to let the air in, how do you open your window? Do they slide up and down, slide side to side, or do they crank open? In almost all cases, there's just 3 types. Now, I know what direction I'm going by those. Now, I'm from Wisconsin where there was storms. So storms typically are going to be on a double hung. Double hung in a storm, and I'll explain that question in a second. You may not have to ask that if you're in a warmer climate, but I'm going to understand if they go, I just slide the window up and down. They're double hung. Some people want to, they know, they're double hungs. Now, by the way, single hung and a double hung, people get confused all the time. Single hung means the top sash or the top window pane is stationary, doesn't move up and down. Double hung means they both go. Doesn't matter. Still gives you the idea, right? Then I say, okay, great. So on that nice day and you open it up, you slide it up, can you touch the screen right away, or is there another piece of glass you have to slide up? That's a storm. I'm trying to find out if they have storms or not. Now, they may understand what I'm saying, but I dumb this down so easy so that there's no confusion. I use simple terms. I know that in our world, we count panes, not windows. Never do you count a window. That's not how a professional window cleaner ever bids anything. It's by the pane, because a casement window has 1 pane. A transom has 1 pane. A double hung has 2 panes. A cut up has like, a bunch, depending, 12 panes sometimes, right? So the panes are what matter, not the window. But I'm asking that to the customer because I'm getting to the idea. No, slide it up and I touch it. I don't have storms. Maybe they know. Maybe you're not even asking that. Okay, so now I know they're double hung windows. Okay, I know that for every one, there's 2. Now, also in transoms and things, and you're like, well, there's also perfect. Okay, fine. They're going to count that as a window. I'm going to be over them. Gravy on that. Those are the first questions I ask. Then I say, okay, odd question for you too. On those windows, are there any grids in the window? Now, I know they're mullions. You know they're mullions. I know that, a lot of times they're not even involved, but I need to ask that because I do not want to show up to a place and then have real true cut-ups and then just be, way, way messed up. Yeah, there's grids in those. Okay, are the grids in between the panes, meaning if I slide my finger on them, I can't touch those grids? Yep, yeah, those are in between the panes. Makes cleaning easy. Awesome, yes, absolutely does. They're just getting to the same point. I've asked 10 seconds worth of questions. Now I know it's a double hung window, no storm, no mullions, nothing to remove. They're in between the panes. So all I'm looking at, take the grids out of it, even though they're there, it doesn't matter to me. I know it's just double hung windows. Okay, now for the next question, can you close your eyes for me? Or if you're at the house, just take a look. But can you count the windows? Start in the front door and just go off to one side and just start counting the windows on that floor. Yeah. Okay, we got 1, 2, we got 4 parts. Count. Okay, perfect. 7 windows. I know already they're double hung, so I know 7 double hungs. 14 panes, right? I'm writing this down. Okay, perfect. Is there a second floor? Oh, yes, there is. Okay, could you count those ones too, just real quick so I know? Yep, okay. If they have questions, they're going to ask you, oh, you know what? Actually, there's a window in the bathroom that's frosted. Do you want me to count that too? Yeah, absolutely. We'll still clean it just so that, it doesn't have any buildup or anything like that, even though you're not looking through it, right? They're going to ask you questions, but you're going to get an idea. Now, the whole thing is done. They told me they have, we'll say, 10 panes or 10 windows. I know they're double hungs. It's 20 panes. I know my 20 pane special price, right? I know all of that information now. If they're off by a window or 2, I'm going to tell you a get out of jail free card here in just a second, but I know for an idea what they are. I always ask, do you also have like a 3-season or 4-season room, like a sunroom attached? Do you want any of that cleaned? No, we don't have any of that. Oh, yes, we do. Actually, yes, you're right. Yeah. I put it all out there, right? So, hypothetically, if you are doing a 20 window special, by the way, there's not really anything special about it, but typically say 20 windows is the panes, the whatever, that's something different. Certain times you put something there and that's what you build off. That's what your timing, that's what your dollar amount, all that stuff. But what I do is I'm still in my head going off of panes. So I know that this particular house has 20 panes of glass. Now I know my pricing is $10 a pane, ins and outs. Now that's just the pane, not the screen, not the sill. So I instantly know this is a $200 house. Now, sexy number, I'm going to be at $199. Right? So I know all of that I've asked. Now, I'm going to give them the price first. Then I have follow-up questions after. I'm going to give them the price and book. I always say, okay, perfect. And anything else you want me to know about those windows? No. Or they say, well, they're really dirty. Or they say, I had a bird poop on the back one. Or whatever. You're just getting a feel for anything specific. Sometimes people are like, they have not been cleaned in 12 years. I know they're dirty. Let's bump it up a little bit. I have the price. Now, by the way, 20 panes is 10 windows is very unlikely. You more than likely have more than that. But this is just for even numbers because I'm bad at the maths. Right? Okay, cool. So for your windows, this is inside and outside on all those windows. You are looking at $199. It's the whole kit and caboodle there. And our first available appointment is actually on Tuesday the 7th. That's going to be between 9 and 10 in the morning if you're a morning person. And I don't ask yes or no. I put it out that way. Tuesday works good. I got the price in the back of the head, but the price was embedded into everything else. If you end on the price is what they focus on. I have them focus on the date because I said that last. Now, if you said, okay, our first available appointment is the 7th and your price is $199, they're going to be like, $199. $199 seems fine. What was the date again? Like, the brain focuses on the last thing you say. That's just communication, something you should really get into. But if I say it that way, that's what they focus on. They overlook the price to some degree, unless it really blows them away. Like $4,300 for your windows, and we're available on Tuesday. They're like, wait, what? $4,300, right? They don't care about the price as much as you think they do. You're in the ballpark. You know what you're charging. Now, if they go, afternoons are a little better. Do you have anything in the afternoon? On that day, we don't, but actually Wednesday, the following day, the 8th, I do. I have an appointment starting at between 1 and 2 o'clock, if that's not too late for you. Yeah, that's much better. Okay, great. I got them in there. Perfect. Awesome. Hey, I got you down. Now, let me ask you, did you need any screen cleaning done? Or are any of your sills so dirty that you need us to brush and vac them out? No, actually, yeah, let's do a few. Let's do the screens on those too. Okay, I look at my notes. I have 10 windows. I know that's 20 panes. 10 windows. That means there's 10 screens. Awesome. So screen price for that is going to add another $49 to that for all of those screens. Of course, we scrub those, put them all, take them off, clean them, put them back. Awesome. Not something you have to do every time, but it's really nice to keep up with. I've already told them the price. They've already agreed. I've already scheduled them. This is like an add-on. And they're like, let's do it. Perfect. Okay, cool. Let me add that on there too. And then last question before I let you go. Is there anything else you need done? We also do house washing. We clean the siding. We can do concrete. We can do roof cleaning, gutter cleaning. Any of those services that you need this time too or want pricing on? A lot of times they're like, you know what? Actually, when you're here, can you give me a price on the... For sure, put in the notes. If you're using, again, Jobber has notes section. Any CRM that you're using probably has notes. This is not a Jobber push, but I went through the newest demo like a month ago. It's mind-blowing to me. But you can have notes put in on your end that when the techs look, they have a completely different screen and all the notes are listed. So every customer they pull up, because they clock in, they just hit a button saying that they're there. It shows them notes. Also do screens. They want a bid on a blah. They know it all, right? Okay. Off of that subject. But that's it. I do everything. They're like, oh, no, none of that right now. Awesome. Well, hey, we got you down for the 8th. We will be there again between 1 and 2 o'clock, and I absolutely appreciate it. If you have any other questions before that, please do reach out. And if we have anything open up before that, I'll give you a call, but plan for us on that date. And again, thank you for letting us, giving us the opportunity. Perfect, good, done. Now, with this intro of this episode and everything that we just talked about, that was what? It took me 5 minutes to tell you, and I explained everything. That's how fast this is. Now, I know all of those, and some people are like, well, yeah, it's not enough information. Okay, cool. Have you heard of a company called Zillow? If you type the address in, which they gave you first, into Zillow, as you're talking to them, guess what? You can do a virtual tour of the house. Almost every house in the U.S. is on Zillow, if it's been sold within the last 5-10 years. Some of them aren't. Go to Google Maps. Get an idea of the house. You know what you're looking at. They've told you everything you know. When you go there and you walk around, what are you doing? You're counting up the windows. I had them count them up. Super easy. I know the type of windows, the amount of windows, what they have. Boom, done. It's off their plate. By the time they hang up, a few minutes later, it's booked and done. In their head, they did that chore. It's absolutely done. They don't go, well, let me call 17 other people, and by next week, Most of them do not do that. If the very, very rare, by the way, you can improve your closing technique, not based off of price, but just off of how you talk and your confidence, I know. But if somebody's like, okay, cool, well, you know what? Let me talk with my wife, and yeah, absolutely. And if she's got any questions, please don't hesitate to reach out. Guess what? I'm going to follow back up with them in a couple hours. Because I know maybe they're calling somebody else. Maybe they're doing something else. Maybe they're whatever. I'm staying fresh. If I'm doing the bid in the middle of the day, maybe I call them the next morning. Hey, Tom, it's Jersey from XYZ Window Cleaning. We talked yesterday about that bid, and I just wanted to follow up, see if your wife said, let's do it, or if she had any questions. Oh, a lot of times they forgot. Oh, yeah, no, she's good with it. You didn't ask her, you forgot. Let's put it in. I can close that. Here is your out. If you're still worried about trying, by the way, give me a week. Do this for a week, like the dentist close. Those of you who have done the dentist close and done it right with confidence, send me messages all the time like, this is absolutely life-changing. It's nuts. I know. But do this for a week, just over the phone for a week. You can't lose much. I always say at the very end of the conversation, I always say, okay, awesome. So, by the way, when we get there, our techs are going to say hi, knock on your door, give you a bunch of information, everything you need to know. They also wear name badges. You'll be able to see who's going to be there. And I already know because I'm using Jobber, you can schedule where they are in the thing. And I can say, well, Gary and Jake will be there. Gary will be the guy at the door, super nice. You're going to like them. And they do great work. But when they get there, if any of the numbers that we talked about are way off, before they even start, they'll go ahead and let you know. But if everything is good to go as far as the numbers we talked about, count of windows and all that, they'll just go ahead and get started after they talk with you. I always give them that little blurb because there has been a couple times, maybe once a year, where those guys are like, yeah, this is way off. Yeah, this is how I handle that. I'll call them and say, hey, Mrs. Or again, if you're running operations or crew chiefs, they're going to tell them this. Say, Miss Jones, when we did the phone bid, it was, you said there was, 10 windows that you had here. It actually is 47 windows. So it ends up being, here's the price, the new price. Now I know that's not what you talked about. So we can do just 10 windows that you picked out, or we can do the whole project for this. Now how that works is it is an out. Because again, set expectations. I didn't start anything. Even if they go, oh, there's a bait and switch, you're trying to... Absolutely. If you think that, that's why we can still do the 10 windows we talked about. You just pick out which 10. I don't like doing that, and I don't remember ever doing that. Everybody goes, oh my gosh, yeah, geez, yeah, I was way off, huh? Yep, it's fine. You can go ahead and do that. Never had anybody go, no. Or anybody be like, oh, I'll pick 10 windows out and tell you, and I'd like the rest of them to stay dirty. This just doesn't happen, right? So you can adjust it there. Once a year, maybe. And that's multiple crews once a year. Overall, it's very, very rare. But now, here's where the magic is. I've given them a price. I've given them the schedule. I've booked them almost at 100% book because everybody's just like, I'm done. This is good. This is great company. If they already don't know, I'm going to give them my service at the very end too. I'm going to let them know. By the way, this appointment's going to come with a 7-day rain guarantee, 100% satisfaction guarantee. You don't pay a dime unless you're happy. We're, of course, fully insured. We carry a $2 million policy, and we have the certificate of insurances on all of our truck if you ever need to check. Our guys are badged, and you can see their picture idea of who they are, and our trucks are all logoed and lettered, so you know that we're there. I'm going to give them the value of everything and why they're choosing me anyway, just to help that decision across. I have them in the books. It took me no time to do, and my close rate's almost all the way. When the guys show up to do the work, that's when they fall in love with your company. They were like, oh, this is so easy. Yes, easy is what it is. They don't need to fall in love with you before they do it. You being awesome does not sell the jobs like you think. It takes a lot of time to do that, and you don't have that kind of time. Even if you're doing one bit a day, what else could you do with that hour? I imagine you could do some other things with that hour, right? So give me a simple week. Do this for a week. You'll be absolutely blown away. Now, if you're still here, I forgot to do my shameless plug halfway through the episode, so just hear me out. I'm a rep for windowcleaner.com. If you didn't know, now you know. If you didn't know, I tell everybody that every episode. Anyway, I'm a rep for windowcleaner.com. It costs you nothing extra to use me and abuse me, but I get credit. And that's how I exist. And how I can wear my free apparel that I wear. And afford hair gel. And actually somebody said I got to buy some Fruity Pebbles with my commission money on the last sale, which I thought was amazing. So just save your cart. Click Save This Cart. Give me a call, 862-312-2026. This time of year is nuts, so text me even. And I'd love to put that in. By the way, if you text me over the weekend and there's a sale going on or anything, you're absolutely grandfathered in and it locks you in. So please use me. Let me put your order in. It costs you nothing extra. I will take care of everything. Just text me, 862-312-2026. And check out American Window Cleaner Magazine. If you're not getting a subscription yet, you should, because not only all these stickers that you're seeing, Huck Kogan, by the way, it's amazing. The magazine is fantastic. It's great. Nerd out, learn more in the industry, but get the stickers. Go to awcmag.com. Get a subscription, please. More importantly, oh, by the way, links down below, are going to be Jobber, Responsive, and some other really great ones I talked about. Also, Monk SEO, I don't have a link for, but I also talked about them this episode. But anyway, if you got questions on any of that stuff, let me know. It's not here to sell any of that stuff, but just really good companies that I've dealt with. So learn that. More importantly, go out there, try this for a week. Tell me how it did, but more importantly, go out there and be epic.